Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel, to you I say Shalom. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. The times that we're in, a lot of people tell you that, you got to be tolerant, you got to be open-minded about the way other people live their lives. They'll say things like, if it doesn't affect you, why does it matter? Things of that nature. But when you have the mindset of building a nation, when you have the mindset of sovereignty and rulership, you should have also the mindset that says what's going on with one Jake is really going on with all Jakes. Like, if you see one Jake in poverty, really all Jake are in poverty, because you gotta put your mindset as the Lord has his towards his people, man. So you gotta have the same mindset the Lord has towards his people, man. And the Lord loves his people more than anything, man. So if you see a sodomite Jake or a feminine Jake or masculine as Eve, you're not supposed to tolerate that shit, man. That doesn't mean go out of your way to confront and condemn people, but just be vexed with it, in the spirit. That doesn't mean if you have a sodomite in your job, tell that nigga he's gonna be destroyed or unless he repents. Nah, we gotta move with wisdom. We gotta be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. But we can't be tolerant, because this is the definition, according to Oxford Languages, of the word tolerant: showing willingness to allow the existence of opinions or behavior that one does not necessarily agree with. We can't be showing willingness to allow the existence of opinions or behaviors, especially behaviors that one does not necessarily agree with. And we're against, the behaviors of wickedness, man. Anything that the Lord is against, we have to be against, man. Because we can't, take the side or argue on behalf of wickedness, man. He's a sodomite, but he's righteous sometimes. No, man, the nigga's a sodomite, man. So we can't be tolerant and can accept this behavior. Of anything that the Lord doesn't like, man. It's not anything that the Lord doesn't agree with. But when it comes to the Lord and what He says, because the Lord doesn't believe as to what He says. He either says yes or no. All right, the Lord doesn't have opinions. Whatever He says is fact. That's why He is the Most High, man. So when Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai says something, and the world says something against it, like when the world is pro-abortion, the world is pro LGBT, the world is pro what's that word I'm looking for? Idolatry, where you can worship any god you want. We have to be against that behavior, man. We can't tolerate that. Because once you tolerate something, one day, the next day is gonna become normal. Like back when I was growing up, you know, 20, 15, 10, 10, 15, 20 years ago, things on TV, it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as now. Because people tolerated that behavior back then. Now TV is wild, man. It'll take you a while. It'll take you a while to find a show that doesn't have a sodomite in it, or an effeminate man and a masculine woman, man. It'll take you a while, man, because they inject that shit in everything. Because it was tolerated when it was only like one or two shows back then. Or you tolerate it then. Now it's gonna become the normal now. But being tolerant is really being against the Lord, man. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and 1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. Right? And transgression is really sin, man. Transgression and sin is anything that's contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So when you have effeminate Jake in TV shows, and that's the thing too. Back then, the joke was so-called black people always die first in movies. Jake always died first in movies, which was true. A lot of movies from the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, 2010s, if there's a cast of like six people in it and one of them is so-called black, usually the black guy ends up dying first, man. All right, but now they changed the joke to, instead of the Jake dying, they turn him into a sodomite, which is he's spiritually dead if he's a sodomite. So now you put the Jake in TV shows and the movies, and they're the sodomite, they're the effeminate man, and this is the image they want to portray to the world. But we gotta cry aloud against shit like this, man, because the shit ain't right. It ain't right because the Lord said it ain't right, and that's the only reason why. Yeah, I don't need to argue with people why it's not right or not. The Lord said it's not right, so that's the end of it, man. All right, let me jump over to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9. Ezekiel 9 and 4. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right. That's the spirit that we gotta have. We gotta sigh and cry about the abominations that's done here, man. We gotta sigh and cry about it, man. We can't be out here tolerating shit. All right. You gotta have very low tolerance when it comes to the Lord, man, because the Lord is the last person you ever want to piss off, man. And if you don't have that mindset, you have a lack of fear. You should, if you're afraid to piss anybody off, if you're afraid to step on anybody's toes, it should be the Lord's, man, more than anything, man. Because the Lord doesn't play, man. And he's all powerful. You could piss man off, but man is in control by the Lord. So anything that man does to you is really the Lord doing to you. All right? So you really, the only thing you have to fear in this world, I'm not going to say thing. The only people you have to fear in this world is Yahweh Yahweh Shai, man. All right? If you don't have that fear, there's something wrong with you. If you don't have that fear, you have pride. And the pride is, something wrong with you, man. It's cool to be confident. It's cool to be borderline arrogant. But when you're prideful, that's a whole different story, man. You always got to give credit to Yahweh Yahweh Shai, man. Always, because everything that we have, everything that we're able to do, everything that we say, everything that happens is of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, man. So if you're gonna tolerate anything, tolerate judgment. Tolerate that, man. Tolerate the judgment of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Ezekiel 9 and 5. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Right? The others are everybody else that are not sighing about the abominations that are done in the midst of thereof, man. Everybody that's pacified, everybody that's cool, everyone that's settled on their lees, right? Those people are going to get smitten, man. Verse 6, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Right? The Lord is not going to take pity upon anybody, right, that's committing abominations, man. Doesn't matter if you're old, young, male, female, child, adult. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. The Lord does not play when it comes to judgment, man. And he takes respect very seriously. So you can't be out here tolerating disrespect towards the Lord's statutes and commandments, towards the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You could be driving in the middle of the night. You'll still stop at a red light out of the fear of the judgment that Esau Edom will give you, out of the fear that somebody might see you. There might be a cop around the corner. Somebody might see you. You're afraid of that judgment, but you're not afraid of the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You're thinking backwards, man. Your mind is too far gone in the world, man. The Lord controls everything, and you're not afraid of him. The Lord controls every single thing. There's nothing, when you think about it, it has to be an obvious thing. There's nothing out of the control of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. There's nothing the Lord said, oh, I didn't mean for that to happen. or I did that by accident. No, there's nothing, not one thing ever. Oh, I didn't mean to flood the earth. No, the Lord meant to destroy everything and everybody in this motherfucker, except for Noah and his family, man. And he did that for a reason. And the Lord is still the same, man. He still has that same mindset. All right, he still demands the same respect. So you can't be out here tolerating shit, man. You gotta be tolerant of people's ways and their lifestyles and who they love. No, man. Fuck all that shit. Respectfully. Or disrespectfully. Because I don't care about not disrespecting anybody that is not, not the Lord. Because if people feel disrespected for the telling the truth, then there's something wrong with them, man. All right? Of course, there's ways to deliver it. Scripture talks about how to basically flavor your speech with salt. But you can't be a respecter of persons at the end of the day, because the Lord's not a respecter of persons. The book of Second Chronicles, chapter 7. Second Chronicles 7 and 12. And the Lord Yahweh appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer, and have chosen this place to myself for an house of sacrifice. If I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. Right? If our people would just, humble themselves and stop tolerating the ways of Esau, Edom, and Babylonian, and these other heathen nations, man. The Lord told us not to take on the ways of the heathen when we living among them, man. But no, our people are perfectly assimilated into idolatry, homosexuality, and all these wicked things, man. All right, our people refuse to humble themselves and pray before Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is, and see, that's the thing. They want us to tolerate everybody else's lifestyle, but they can't tolerate ours. Right? They can't tolerate ours. They can't tolerate when a man is serving the Lord, man. They can't tolerate it. Just like they couldn't tolerate Yahweh Shai, man. There's something wrong with the majority of our people, man. And it's because the Lord blinded them. It's like the Lord put them in a catch-22, man. All right? It's because, Scripture talks about how let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. Right? And when you go into that word incredulity, it basically means the unbelief or the inability to believe. All right? So our people are suffering from a disorder right now, which is going to be cured in the kingdom. But right now they're going through it, and that disorder is a lack of belief, man. They don't have the ability to believe because the Lord blinded them, man. All right? It takes the Lord to open your eyes and open your mind. All right? And that's why this is a gift. People can't tolerate that, man. People can't tolerate that when you tell them the truth of the scriptures, the truth of the Lord, that it goes against everything that they were taught and how they were raised. So they can't tolerate that they've been living a lie their whole lives, right? But they want us to be tolerant. The people in the world are so ass backwards, man. It's actually kind of annoying sometimes, right? But this is the condition of the battle, man. This is what we gotta do, to separate ourselves from this place, man. We have to be holy because the Lord said that we were holy, all right? We go to the book of Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. The Lord Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So now when we go back to 2 Chronicles 7 and 14, if my people which are called by my name, and the people that are called by the name of the Lord, is Israel, man, Yasharallah. He's the prince of the power, man. And when you're a prince, that means you're a son of the king. So we are the Lord's people, man. All right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans make up the majority of Israel, man. Now, not every single black, Hispanic, and Native American is an Israelite, because you do have some tares out there. But for the most part, the mass majority of us are Israelites. And just because you're not so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American doesn't mean that you're not an Israelite. All right? 'Cause you just could be an Israelite or brought up in a different nation, but you still descend from the man known as Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Right? If my people, which are called by my name, and those are the people that are called by the Lord's name, man. Yasharallah, man. We were surnamed after the Lord. And when you put your name on something, that implies ownership, right? It's like kids say, if you take a kid's seat, and another kid says to the kid, "Hey, I was sitting there first." What does second kid say? The second kid will be like, "Oh, I don't see your name on it," because a name implies ownership, man. The scripture talks about how when a man begetteth a wife or gets a wife, he begetteth a possession. And what does a wife do? A wife takes on the name of her husband, because that implies ownership, man. And people that don't have that a correct mindset. People have a westernized Babylonian mindset. The majority of people, you'll get in an argument if you say that to a normal people, man. You'll get into an argument, even though it makes sense. Because when a husband is when a father is walking his daughter down the aisle in a marriage ceremony, which isn't, according to the Bible, isn't what makes you somebody's wife. Your marriage is through sex, first and foremost, right? But if people have a ceremony, and the father is walking the bride down the aisle to the groom, to the husband, that process is called giving the daughter away. And you don't give something away unless you own it. You can't give something that you don't own away. It's impossible. So if you own something, and then you're able to give it away. And just like in slavery times, you see a lot of Jake now with so-called Edomite last names, right? Or Slakia, so-called white last names, all right? Because they're not really Esau last names. You'll see Jake with those last names because they took on their slave masters' last names and the time of slavery, because the name implied ownership, man. So when we're surnamed by the Lord, that means the Lord owns us, right? If my people, which are called by my name, my people, see, that's a possessive term, which not all people, my people, which are called by my name, he specified the people he's talking about, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. But before then, if you try to pray to the Lord, and you're not changing your ways, you're not changing your wicked ways, more specifically, if you're not changing your wicked ways, you're trying to cry out to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, according to the book of Proverbs, your prayer is an abomination to the Lord, right? Why are you calling him if you're not doing anything he says? If you're not doing anything your boss says at the plantation, at your job, you can't call him for help. And I need time off, or I need help, or I need a raise. You can't do that if you're not doing anything your boss says, right? But if you're doing everything your boss says, right, he's gonna more than likely answer you when you make a request. But before then, why do you have the audacity to call upon him? You got people now in the world now eating pork and calling upon the name of the Lord, man. That prayer is an abomination, man. That could get you destroyed, man. That could get people destroyed. It will get you destroyed. According to the book of Isaiah, eating that abominable swine, man. Proverbs 28:9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. Shall be abomination, right? So when people tell you that, when people tell you that the ways you're living are wrong, and you turn your ear from that, and you try to pray to the Lord, your prayer is an abomination, man. The Lord ain't trying to hear that, man. You trying to talk to the Lord with swine in your breath, man. Swine in your mind. You wilding, man. But I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great Noso now rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Until next time, we'll say Shalom and Abad Babal.